All right, y'all. So we're here at my personal food forest, and it's late December, almost Christmas, and I just want to do a quick update, uh, especially because we're just at that point in the season where things are starting to get dry. Things are turning that corner where, we are still feeling the effects of the long rainy season that we had. So things are still somewhat green, but we're just turning that corner, and I wanted to get a video out before things get too dry. So the number one thing about my personal food forest is that I don't irrigate it whatsoever. And so it's a good example of how resilient a system like this can be if you don't have any means of irrigation. So let's get right into it. One of the biggest developments so far is that this grafted star fruit is finally fruiting. Super beautiful. It got nipped back by the deer a few times, but just kept growing, and now it's fruiting. They're just about getting ready to harvest, and technically you can harvest them now, and let them ripen. So I might do that. But yeah, the emergent trees are doing pretty good. Royal Poincianas still have their foliage on them. They go dormant during the winter. And I haven't really done any comparisons. This time of year, I like to compare deciduous trees to see if being in a system like this helps them keep their leaves on for longer or not. So haven't really done that test quite yet this year, but they're still looking vibrant, still looking green, and they haven't shed too much of their leaves. Here we start seeing the effects of the dry season and having no irrigation. The last video I did was at Mary's, and you can see the effects of the irrigation. Plants like this Piper, the La Lotte, this Piper sarmentosum, very much a heat lover. Does not do well in the dry, cold conditions, and you can see it's pretty much gone dormant at this point. Whereas this galangal is still doing pretty good. Dry season is one of my favorite times of year in terms of assessing plant resilience. And as the dry season continues, I like to just check on, see which plants are handling it, which plants are slowly but surely, dying or like going dormant, and which plants are just hanging on. Pleasantly surprised with the achote, the urucum, or the annatto lipstick plant. You can see actually starting to put on another flush of fruit, of not fruit, but like of the seeds. So I didn't get much seeds this summer because it was way too wet, and they just molded. So hopefully I might be able to get something off of that. But yeah, I don't know how much of their persistence it's due to the amazing rainy season we had, or if it's just due to the microclimate, or if it's just due to it's a resilient plant. So maybe a little combination of all those three things. So mangoes are starting to really shine, really start to be over my head, which is really nice. I know the overstory of the Royal Poincianas and the Corimbias and all that are helping out. Let's see. Here's a beautiful Royal Poinciana. My favorite Royal Poinciana of my entire food forest is right here. Supremely beautiful. Super thick trunk already. Super thick buttresses already. Yeah, absolutely love this Royal Poinciana. Yeah, so we're getting to that point in the season where the soil is starting to become hydrophobic. Even if you water it, this does not percolate. It just slides off. It doesn't take long. We're in Florida, super sandy here, and it doesn't take long for the soil to become hydrophobic. So it'll be interesting to see how much more desiccation happens. But yeah, there's a good look right there. This was all green turmeric all summer long. It's hard to walk through. One of my favorite things about the dry season is how much more access I have now. Sometimes in the rainy season, it's just even hard to get in here. a little frustrating, honestly, but I know that it's gonna open up, so I just have patience, and sure enough, all the turmeric dies back. As you can see, this is what happens when you have no irrigation to keep them alive. At Miri's, some of the turmeric is still holding on because it still has plenty of water, but here, where there's no irrigation, it's just, you know, it's done. So the turmeric is ready to harvest, or ready to just be left in the ground to grow another year. Who knows? Here's native mahoganies, super beautiful. They're starting to put on a nice caliper here, as you can see, slowly but surely. They are slow growers, but it's all right. This is some sort of like maybe a soap berry. I'm not sure. If anybody knows what that is, let me know. I forget what it is. I see so many things I don't really remember. Pitanga, Suriname cherry. Not pleasantly surprised, because I know how resilient of a plant it is, but I'm super stoked on the longevity spinach. This thing is just dry, wet, shaded, sunny, does not matter. This thing just keeps pushing growth and just keeps on growing. Loquats, seedlings, might graft onto them, might not. We'll see. More mangoes here. Here's another mahogany. Corimbias starting to putting on a nice canopy up there. Sweet tamarind starting to get a nice caliper on it. So yeah, things are looking still pretty green for it being late December, and for it to be actually a pretty chilly December. We've been having some cold temps in the mornings, so I think this microclimate has been helping. Makes a big difference having. There's something that we have here at my place that we don't have at Miri's, is the establishment of lots of canopy trees, and lots of existing like natives, like the slash pines and the cabbage palm, that really create a nice microclimate. So yeah, I mean, look at this. This is a Spanish lime, the canopy mamoncillo, pushing new growth in late December. Look at black sapote pushing new growth in late December. So that's pretty cool, I think, with absolutely no irrigation. We have some cool well, I don't know if they're Ganodermas or not, but shelf fungus, carrot wood, Royal Poincianas I had hacked back, coming back strong. Another mango here. Pineapples over there, some mountain soursops, some loquats. Let's see what we got. Let's go over here. Sometimes I don't go over here just because of how close it is to the fence, to the neighbor. Mulberry, still having foliage on for late December. Pretty cool. Look at that. We have the Albizia lebic. I really like the Albizia lebic because it's very persistent and it doesn't really intrude on anybody too much. Katuk, putting on some berries. A little floppy. They got kind of lost in the sea of turmeric that was here this summer. Some banana. Like I always say, I don't really focus on banana here at this property. A, because they don't produce as great as they could with irrigation, and B, because I work on a banana farm. Striculia foeti does. The Bangar nuts, they're hanging on in the wintertime, so pleasantly surprised, like I always say, to see that they're still doing their thing. Who knows what January and February will bring, but for now they're looking pretty healthy, which is really nice. A lot of these what's this? This could be Royal Poinciana. Could be Lucana, I'm not sure, but a lot of these early succession trees are just phasing themselves out. Not, how many times have I pruned this back? There's not as much sunlight as they like, and so they just kind of phase themselves out. Here's a moringa doing the same. So they're phasing themselves out to favor the longer term species. Mountain soursop here. Some more galangal, some more bananas. I like keeping the bananas for the microclimate aspect, but that's what we got. We got the slash pine up there. Let's see what this tree line has. Let me go against the sun real fast. Here's a good gauge plant. This is the I forget what it's called. Something microfolia. It sort of reacts to how much moisture there is and kind of dies back when it's the conditions are too dry. So to see it still fairly verdant like that is a good sign. We've only had like maybe 1 or 2 tiny little rain events in the past like month or so. So just to paint a picture of kind of what we've been dealing with here the past few weeks. Yeah, super stoked on the Sterculia foetidas. Really love their leaf shapes, and I really love the seed pods that they produce. Here's another winner. I really like this heliconia. Super green still. Nice little yellow flowers. Here's a regular soursop. Usually this time of year, regular soursops start shedding their leaves pretty bad. So to see this one, there is definitely some damage, spots and whatnot like this, but for the most part, looking pretty good still. Here's the SH3640 banana with its characteristic little black marks. Really love the design on the Carimbia. Canistel. I've shown all these plants multiple times before. Dracaena, super beautiful, but it's always nice to see them at different times of the year. You have a Inga ice cream bean kind of doing its thing. So yeah, again, all the turmerics are dormant. This moringa is hanging on strong. Sometimes the moringas, if they're genetically amazing like this one is, they'll hang out even if they're shaded out. They'll still pump. The custard apple here, still doing this thing. Really hoping it fruits sometime soon. Pretty sure I saw an attempt at a flower a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure. So yeah, that's kind of it. Let's see what else we got. Super nice for a food forest that never gets irrigated. Pineapple is kind of just hanging out. Oh yeah, the jackfruits are doing good here too. Let me show this other jackfruit. Mango. The mangoes are really impressive, honestly. See, this is more like what soursops tend to look like this time of year. So, still pretty good though, compared to others I've seen. Let's see. The Suriname cherry is starting to really sort of show itself now. Really nice. Really love the Suriname cherries. This Aki is looking really good. Up over my head. Really nice. Looks healthy. Underneath the shade of this Carimbia. Really interesting the way it twisted itself up there. Like crossed fingers or something like that. This jackfruit is pretty robust. Here we have a powder puff tree that I planted from seed. I think this is the first time I've seen it flower, which is really cool. They do prefer more sun, but it's cool to see that they'll just hang out and do their thing even in the shade. There we got a Pasang Ceylon banana helping out with microclimate. Here we have a Canna edulis. Did very well with this rainy season, hanging on in late December, which is pretty cool. the rhizomes aren't as thick as I thought they were going to be. So I'm curious to know if there's different varieties, or because apparently you can eat the rhizomes, but I don't know. They don't seem like big enough to me. Maybe, I don't know. I know they're popular in different countries. So if somebody knows about these and how to prepare them, let me know. Yeah, more mangoes hanging on. We have a white sapote kind of trying its best, but not really doing that well. Let's see, here's another custard apple from seed. So things are kind of doing good for late December. I really think this food forest has turned a corner with all these canopy trees now and with the microclimate. But we shall see. There might be some frosty. I really, in a weird way, hope that there is like frost events this winter, because I want to see, just as this experimenter in me wants to see what happens. I think this is a cherry of the Rio Grande here. Oh, I gotta show this beautiful. Here's another soursop. Here's a beautiful avocado here from seed. Super, super beautiful. Doing really well. But you never know. So here's a 1, 2, and 3. This is loquat. The reason why I haven't chosen between any of these yet is because they're still young enough for them to be one right next to each other if you just prune them up to choose. Because Mother Nature, even though something like this, an avocado, is still pretty established and the roots are pretty established, nature can still wipe something like this out. Avocados could be somewhat finicky here in Florida, Southwest Florida. So I have this loquat as a backup. I know the loquat's bulletproof in terms of cold, so we'll see what ends up happening. But I kind of like keeping my options open until there's a point where, they're just too big for each other. But for now, I can still kind of sort of get away with it. But I mean, right now, it looks like this avocado is the clear choice, but we'll see. More moringa. Oh yeah, a lot of acerola cherry, Barbados cherries. Nice color here with the red Turk's cap. Then we have more turmeric that's dormant and some Gliricidius sepiums here. Really want to propagate more of this. It did pretty good and it's doing fairly well for our cold mornings that we've been having. So still fully has all its leaves on it. So I definitely want to do more red Turk's cap. I really love how it looks. I might do some more over there to do like a little privacy wall. Got my little fire station set up here. Did a lot of firewood this winter so far. Did a couple fires. It's been really nice. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. I'll show the area that I've been working on back there, just opening up more area in another video. I'll just focus on the main food forest. Look at this amazing, beautiful sky. Whatchamacallit, carrot wood that I've been pruning back nonstop. It just keeps pumping out growth. Peanut butter fruit, trying to hold on, but really not doing much. Yeah, and just a lot of nopales with with turmeric that has gone dormant here. So the turmeric was all up in the nopales' grill all summer long. Nopales were kind of getting shaded out, but if you think about interplanting with turmeric, it's great because they go back down to the ground in the wintertime, and then boom, something like nopal can just take off again in the drier conditions, which the nopal actually really likes. So kind of like that little combo there. All right, well, that's it. Trying to get my updates out while I can. Let me see. Oh yeah, let me see if there's one more jackfruit I wanted to show. This line here. See how they're doing. Yeah, these jackfruits here doing pretty good for late December. So we'll keep an eye out on these jackfruit. Hopefully, I think these are going to be the ones out of all this craziness that I have going on. I think these jackfruits are going to be the ones that end up being there in long term. And of course, I love having a little Hong Kong orchid action. It smells so good. So that's it. Oh yeah, the giant red heliconia as well. It's been doing pretty good. So yeah, a lot of things. Dormant shampoo gingers over here. Yeah, that's about it. That is about it. I'll go ahead and just end off on where I began. This is, oh yeah, and the sabas, of course, are doing excellent. I love the saba. And then yeah, this is the area that I've been opened up quite a bit, honestly. And things are looking pretty green for it being exposed to the south and getting blasted by the sun. So can't complain for late December.